Yes, another Focus, straight up a Facebook Market. And yes, it's trashed like never before. This thing, I got a really good deal on it, but that's because it's completely destroyed. Like, it didn't run or drive when I picked it up. So I picked it up on the trailer, winched it up. It actually came with another parts car, which is completely useless in this case because it's covered up over there. It was red, and none of the parts are any good on the parts car. These are all the parts that came with the car. There's like another PCM, another transmission module, and stuff like that. So I am going to attempt and save this car. It needs a lot of things. First of all, it needs a nice cleaning job. Like, there's bottles and caps and forks and all kinds of stuff in here. We'll get to the other side. So up here we got a blown knee bag, we got a blown steering wheel bag, which the parts car supposedly had it, but the bag wasn't in there. It was glued on the parts car, so it was empty. And the parts car, the red one, is a 2011, so the knee bag does not exist in those, I'm assuming, because it's a little bit older. This is a 2014. It looks like the seat belt is probably blown, and you know, the forward and back of the car is decent, but the front end over here took a nice hit right where the PCM is, and then basically ripped all this wiring. And there's some more wiring here, but it ripped all this wiring off or cut it on a sharp edge or something, and the car didn't run because it didn't have any power going to the engine, starter, injectors, any of that. So when you key on, the ignition would come on, but it wouldn't start or run or drive or any of that. So what I did was I hooked up the wires that are required to run the engine, and I got it to run and drive, and I was able to move it here to this place. Also, the other day I went to a local junkyard and I picked up a bunch of parts, like new fenders, headlights, the whole assembly. I'm talking about like the reinforcement and like shutters, radiator, condenser, a bunch of wires in there, and the fans back there. Horns are even on there. So all of that just bolts on up here in the front. And one thing is, this rail over here is sort of bent, but it's only bent on the end. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take it to a frame shop, and they're gonna pull this out, and then most likely just replace the end somewhere over here where the reinforcement attaches. What they do is they splice it properly so it's to OEM spec. So that's not a big deal. As long as the frame is bent over here on the end, it doesn't really affect the car any. Like if it's bent like way back here, it'll affect the wheel, the way the wheel sits and everything like that, the way the strut is mounted, all that. But this is just on the end here. It's hard to see probably in the video, but just the end got tweaked, so it'll get pulled forward back into place and then cut. And you know, I'm sure some people could even save that, to be honest, but I already have the piece. It was cheap at the local LKQ in Greenville, South Carolina, which is only an hour or less away from here. And you know, this hood off the parts car was already wrecked before, so the hood's been repaired. And if you look on this other side, the Bondo is peeling because it was a crappy repair job. And to be honest, when the hood is bent like this, like you can see that it was all crumbled over here, there's no saving it. Like, you gotta buy a new hood. That hood cost me like 45 bucks, and it's flawless. I wish it was the same color as the car, so it'd be less paint, but you know. So the only thing I wasn't able to get at the local junkyard is the upper support, which goes up here. For some reason, that's like the first thing to go at the junkyard. And also the front bumper cover, which came with the parts car, but it's also destroyed. I'm not gonna even try to save this one because it was just like, it was bondoed and it's cracking, and this is supposed to be black, this is supposed to be black. It's all spray canned, spray painted. The only thing that's good on it is the logo, and even that probably has overspray on it, so useless. Fog lights, this one looks decent, the other one had water in it, so whatever. I'm gonna find a new bumper. The only thing I'm missing is a bumper, upper radiator support, and inside I'm missing the airbag. I got scammed on Facebook Market. I bought it, the guy canceled, never got it. Knee bag I'm still missing, and seat belt, and that'll take care of the SRS airbag system. So if we walk to this other side, I wanted to show something interesting. Whoever owned this car before, basically, I guess, couldn't get it running because the wiring was cut or missing, whatever. So they thought it might have been a fuel pump. So this is what they did. Instead of pulling or dropping a gas tank like normal people would do, they just cut a hole up here. Surprisingly, they didn't cut. Maybe they did a little bit. No, they didn't cut any lines, luckily. And they just bent it back to get to the fuel pump. Now, did that get them anywhere? Probably not. This car only has 80,000 miles on it. And as soon as I fixed the wiring up front, it started right up like this. So now what I'm gonna do is gonna clean this thing up. I'm gonna take everything out, including the seats. Some water got in because some of these seals were peeled back, so some water got in. I might even pull the whole carpet out. I'm not sure, but I want to make this car look good. This video is just to show you that any car can be saved. Like, this car didn't run and drive yesterday. Today it runs and drives, and with a little bit of cleaning and a little bit of paint and stuff like that, this car is gonna be as good as new. And well, it's probably gonna be a couple part video, but this is where the car is right now. And let's do some work, I guess. So here's some proof that the car actually does run, just so some of you in the comments won't say, oh well, does it really run? Well, yes it does. It's 85,000 miles on the car. Starts right up. Not gonna run it for long because no radiator, but that's my radiator. So there it is. 2014 Ford Focus SE with the 2.0. I feel like these are the most reliable engines in the Focus. Those turbo ones, they're good, but they don't really last, is what I hear. But let's get some work done. So I took all the trash out, all the bottles, all the beer caps and stuff like that, and the back seat is out. I'm gonna remove the front two seats. I don't know if I'm gonna remove the whole carpet or not. I'll see what it looks like when I remove the seats, because to remove the carpet I gotta take apart the center console, and I really don't want to do that. It's just gonna take some time, and I don't know. I'll see how bad the carpet looks. Maybe it's savable inside the car. If not, of course, I'll have to pull it out and pressure wash it or something like that. But I'm gonna get these two seats out, and this back seat looks pretty rough. I don't know if I can pressure wash these or not. I might try to vacuum, maybe just scrub it a little bit first. Try to avoid pressure washing because it's gonna dry forever. But we'll see how things go. So the bonus on working on cars like this is you find some cash inside the car for parts right away. And you know, that's a couple of bucks there towards the parts. But look at this interior without the seats. Some of before footage and I'll record some after. There's spider webs in here and it's just it looks nasty. I'm going to give this thing a wash the under hood really nice, and exterior. So here's the before footage. It's completely trashed. It's been sitting under some trees. There's like leaves everywhere. The trunk was full of water. It's already looking better. And interior, I haven't vacuumed it yet, but I will do that next. I just want to wash the exterior because it's kind of bugging me. There's all this stuff that I don't know if it's gonna come off, but the trunk needs to be painted anyways, at least the top half, because someone keyed it. Guess some girlfriend was pissed off or something and just drew some circles with the key. But this thing is dirty, so this stuff right here is probably off like a pine tree or something like that. Hopefully that'll get washed out though. We'll see. Alright, so looks like this mirror needs to be painted. That was replaced at some point. So I am gonna put 2 new fenders on, even though this one's okay, but I just I don't really want to use it. I think it was painted before or something like that. So I'm gonna put 2 new ones on, 2 new headlights on, but that will not be in this video. Well, the fenders and the hood will go on probably in this video, but everything else will be done at the frame shop when this frame rail is gonna be fixed. So let me wash this thing, make it look better, and we'll go from there. Well, this thing cleaned up pretty nice inside. And outside a little bit. It's looking good. Looks brand new inside now. Also, I put the fenders on and the hood on and straighten out this door a little bit, ready for Bondo. Looks pretty good. So I put the new reinforcement on, and as you can see that this side actually moved as well, and you can see by how much. So the whole front needs to be slightly pulled to the driver's side, which is not a big deal. That's what usually happens. The main impact was right here into the driver's side. That's why that bent right there, but it will all be pulled out and replaced. And then once I get this car back from the body shop, it'll be completely pulled out and painted. So at that point it's just assembly, and then put the fluids in and everything like that, and get alignment and some tires, and that'll be it after that. So I think this is going to be a 2-part video because the video is going to be super long, and also it'll be a while before this thing goes to the body shop. By a while I mean like a week or so, because I'm still missing a bumper cover and a few other small things. Mostly the reinforcement or the upper radiator support and the bumper cover is what's slowing me down to take it to a body shop at this point, because you want to have all the body parts on hand when you're doing framework, just to make sure that everything fits right, and at what point after paint it's all gonna fit and all the gaps will be perfect like OEM. So that'll be it on this one. Stay tuned for the next video. It'll be out soon. Later.